Ever dream of traveling or buying the home of your dreams? Welcome to Joel Nagel's Global Wealth Fortress Report with successful global investment and estate planning expert Joel Nagel, who knows how to turn your investment dreams into reality. Joel is now making available, absolutely free, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning. It's simple, it's smart, and it can be customized either for seasoned investors or for those who want to seriously grow even your most modest assets. Joel is excited to share his strategies and instincts with you absolutely free because he's helped thousands of investors like you achieve real results, and he knows you can be the next. So, sit back and enjoy Joel Nagel's offshore expert advice on how you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.
My name is Joel Nagel, and I'm speaking to you this afternoon from the Pittsburgh International Airport, where I am just heading out with my two young daughters to Europe to take them back to school. They both go to school at an international school in Vienna, and we're heading out this afternoon. This evening we'll be on a flight to Portugal. Now, some people might say, well, how is that possible? The flights to Europe have been dramatically reduced or eliminated. Americans aren't allowed to go to Europe. Europeans aren't allowed to come to the U.S. And that's actually true. But one of the things we like to talk about on the Global Wealth Report is, having various options, having plan Bs, and that goes not only to your assets, things that we've been talking about like asset protection trusts, but it also applies to things like residency and citizenship. So we have a residency in several places, one of which is Portugal. So we're going to be entering Portugal through the Azore Islands. We're going to fly to Boston. From Boston, we'll take a little hopper flight to a little speck of land in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's similar to the Hawaiian Islands. It's the top of mountains, very, very deep mountains that come up from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And the top of the mountains form the Azore Islands. So we're looking forward to going there. There really hasn't been any cases of COVID reported there, and so we're looking forward to going there. We're gonna spend a few days on holiday there en route. From there, we'll head on to Lisbon, and from Lisbon, eventually we'll make it back to Vienna, Austria. So that's by way of background. I'm going to be talking to you over the next few days about how you can also protect yourself by having alternate passports and alternate residencies. Some of these programs have been dramatically affected and closed down because of the global pandemic. Offices aren't open, government agencies aren't open, but there are some countries that have really taken advantage of the situation to promote their own program. There have even been discounts, like specials. In the case of one Caribbean island I'll be talking about over the next few days, I guess we don't have to maintain a secret. The country I'm talking about is St. Lucia. They've always had a great called Citizenship by Investment program, but their program right now, because of coronavirus, has been marked down 50%. That just shows you how dependent they are on tourism revenues, which have really been non-existent. And so this is one mechanism whereby they can hope to attract some revenue to replace the shortfall. You can see behind me, I'm in what would normally be a very busy concourse at the Pittsburgh International Airport. It's virtually empty, few kids and people running around. It's kind of sad to see, quite frankly. My wife dropped us off a little while ago, and normally it would take anywhere from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to check in and then travel through the security line and go through security. Then you have to take a little train to bring you over from what's called the land side to the air side, and then walk to our gate. Instead of an hour and 15 minutes today, it took us about between 7 and 8 minutes. There's virtually nobody here. The nice thing is everybody was exceptionally friendly. I think they recognize the fact that they have to kiss up's not really the right word, but they have to be nice and kind to the few people that are left traveling in this day and age. I just read that the TSA numbers are down something like 95% year over year from this time last year. So you have 5 travelers like us, and of the 5 people traveling, virtually none of them are going to Europe. So we're going to be really a minority within a minority within a minority traveling to Europe right now. I'll make at least one more video, I hope, on the flight over to the Azores. I'll talk a little bit more about the Portuguese residency since we're headed there. I'll tell you our story, how we obtained what's called the golden visa. It's actually quite easy to do. You have to commit to spending 1 week per year in Portugal. And again, most residency programs, you have to spend 183 days a year to maintain your status. So we'll be talking more about St. Lucia. I'll talk about some of the other Caribbean citizenship by investment, the other European citizenship by investment. That'll be the next 3 or 4 episodes at least. And then maybe we'll get back to talking about some of the structures and strategies for protecting your wealth. So, U.S. passport has always been one of the best passports in the world. People would say, why do I need a second passport? Why do I need a second residency? I could travel anywhere I want with the U.S. passport. And that's been essentially true. Up until a few months ago, you could travel to 186 countries in the world, visa-free with the U.S. passport. But as most of you know, the world has changed in the last few months. And as of the day before yesterday, the U.S. passport only gave you access to about 23 countries around the world. The rest of the countries are essentially closed to Americans because of the whole coronavirus thing. So you can see. So tomorrow I'm going to be coming back again and talking specifically about the Golden Visa, how you can get the Golden Visa, what's involved, the investment amount, really how easy it is. And if you're looking for a plan B, where you'd like to have another residency card or ability to travel during the current lockdown, please reach out to my office. We'll be happy to help you get the documentation you need. So like me, you can join me in a lounge like this or on an airplane, and you can travel where you want. I mean, it's really all about choice, and it's all about freedom, and that's why I think it's so important. Right. So on that note,
and I think it's really important to think about this. Even though we live in a great country in the United States, it's the old adage, the old Boy Scout adage, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And I feel like we've done that over the past few years. We have multiple passports, we have multiple residencies, including Portuguese. So having a Portuguese residency, when we checked in at the counter, they asked us a whole series of things. I had to show a negative COVID test, and in addition, I had to show one of the ways that we qualified to fly to Portugal, one of which was simply having a Portuguese residence card. I pulled the residence cards out, the lady smiled at me, wrote down the information, and here we are. So it's never too early or too late to prepare for a situation like this. I would encourage all of you who are watching this video to think about what your plan B is. There are opportunities all over the world for, in some cases, jurisdictions like Panama, you can get a investor visa for as little as, or actually less than $20,000. Now, some of the European countries are a bit more, but the price range really varies widely. If you decide that you can spend time living in a country, or if you have ancestry, if your parents or grandparents immigrated from a European country, frequently you can use that as a methodology to go ahead and apply for citizenship or apply for residency. So, I said I was just going to check in briefly. I'm a little bit tired, honestly, but I just wanted to update everybody on our flight across the ocean. Tomorrow I'm going to take some time and really delve into the Portuguese Golden Visa. I'm going to be talking a lot about that, and there's a half dozen ways that you can qualify. I'm going to go through those in detail. And there's a compendium that we're going to issue that goes along with this episode that really outlines all of the ways that you can qualify for the Portuguese golden visa. So now I'm going to say goodnight and look forward to catching up with you all tomorrow. Thanks and have a good night.
Thanks for joining Joel Nagel and the Global Wealth Fortress Report, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning, so that now you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.